Hi, welcome to another episode of the Bella Grace podcast. Whether you are struggling to find balance, using unhealthy behaviors or substances to cope, or just want to unlock the root cause of what's holding you back, Bella Grace Coaching can help you transform your life, mind, body, and soul. Yes. I almost have the intro memorized. Almost.
Good job, Teresa. I'm proud of you.
And this week we're doing that by talking about, what did we decide?
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
One quick question.
Yes.
Did you bring a shovel?
No.
Did you bring gloves?
No.
Did you bring a hat?
No.
Okay.
Why? What are we doing?
Good, because I didn't either. And it sounds like we're going to murder someone and we need no. Wait, I just thought about it. It really does sound like
Because you listed off all of the murder your husband supplies.
we're not murdering anyone, and she is my friend, ride or die. But
hey, if you need me to bring a shovel and gloves, just tell me where, and I'll be there.
We're gonna dig. Well, but it's not for what you're thinking. You silly girl, you have some very dark thoughts.
I do.
Yeah. No, we need them because, we're gonna be talking about gardening and the benefits of gardening.
Yes.
That's why we need a shovel. We need sunscreen, some glasses, a cute hat, and maybe some mosquito spray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. In Texas, you definitely need mosquito spray.
Definitely. If you're like me, you'll get eaten alive.
I don't know what it is. Yeah. My grandpa used to say that you had sweet blood because, if the mosquitoes were attracted to you. But when I was a kid, I was always covered head to toe in mosquito bites.
I think I'm allergic to mosquito bites because mine get so huge and plumpy, like my little.
Do they get pus in them?
No.
Oh.
They just get really huge.
Okay.
They'll stay huge. It's weird. I don't know.
Yeah. No, mine get big because I scratch them. So then they turn into giant.
Well, mine, even if I don't,
size. They just do it.
Yeah.
That's what happens to me whenever I get bit by ants. Oh. And when I do photo shoots at White Rock Lake, there's carpenter ants.
Okay.
They're the big, huge ants that have they're red and black.
Oh, those are the red and black ain't good.
Yeah, no. And anytime I get bit by a carpenter ant, it swells the size of a softball. It's huge.
Okay.
So yeah, but okay, the benefits of gardening.
Yes. So,
Rosie is the plant guru. She brought all the plants that we always have in the podcast, which, as you know, I know we've had technical issues. My laptop crapped out on us. And so until I get a new one, we're recording on a different method. And so everything is kind of blurry and not as good. Unless we can get our backup method to work, then it's going to be beautiful. But anyway, normally we have plants in the scene, and all of those plants are Rosie's plants. She has brought them to my house
because she is, because she needs plants, okay? Because she has nothing better to do with her life. And she's a loner, and I just think she needs other living things with her.
I need something else to take care of. Yeah. No. When she brought me the first plant, she was like, "Here, I'm bringing you something else that you need to keep alive."
Did I really say that? Okay, it sounds like I would, but I can't remember exactly what I said.
You don't have time. You said, "I know you have so much time on your hands to take care of everything else. So here you go. Here's a new plant for you to take care of."
Yeah, I would.
Oh, thanks, Rosie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I have a green thumb, and I was gonna paint my thumb for this green.
You just did one green fingernail.
Yeah, so I can be like green thumb lady right here. Yeah, and I thought about wearing my my sun hat.
Yeah,
just so I can dress the part, because I like to just really get into character.
Yeah,
I'm just.
That's how you are. Yeah.
Yeah, but I was like, no, I'm too much. I need to relax. this is a podcast. Nobody wants to see me here with like a sun.
I would have liked to see
But I have a scarecrow outfit for those who can see me.
It's so cute.
It's like I look like a little scarecrow.
She walked in and I was like, I love this little romper jumper thing. And she's like, oh, it's my scarecrow outfit. I'm like, well, I love it.
Thank you.
I love it.
I got it from Amazon,
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like colorful, cute things sometimes, and sometimes I'm just in the neutral, more simple, but I don't know, it just depends on how I feel,
Same.
But anyways, we're talking about plants and gardening.
Yes.
Specifically gardening. So we're talking about gardening.
Mm-hmm.
There are some really good benefits in gardening. One of them is it is therapeutic. It regulates your emotions. It's also a distressor, and it takes your anxiety away.
Yeah.
It also, did I say it calms you?
I don't know, but it does.
Yeah, it calms you, but it's also physical exercise. So when you're out and about, not only are you smelling flowers or plants, but you're moving, you're pulling out weeds, you're watering your plants, you're mowing the grass, whatever it has to do with gardening, it's going to get physical and messy.
Yeah.
And we love physical and messy. So
yeah, no, it does. And it kind of connects you back to being a kid, like playing in the dirt and like having fun.
Like a mud fight.
Yeah.
Mud
I
pies.
remember when I was a kid, my favorite thing, we had like a huge garden in front of our house, like a garden area. And my dad let me plant tomatoes and peppers and I don't know what else, but I just remember the tomatoes and peppers because we would make salsa with it.
Yeah. And I've done that too.
I would go out there at night because my dad would have people over. I don't know why, but I distinctly remember it being kind of dark, like the sun was setting, and being in the garden and like digging little like troughs, little trails from one plant to the other so that whenever I put the water hose in, it would just like flow to each plant.
You know that there's a such thing as that, and they call it zanjas. There's so if you know a little bit about me, I grew up in a ranch. I was born in a ranch, in my grandma's ranch, and they were all pioneer people. They were all like green thumb people.
Yeah,
like
they grew their own food.
They grew everything. Yeah. Like she had avocado trees, orange trees. I mean, she had everything. She had chickens, she had pigs, she had horses, she had cows. She even had like wild turkeys or turkeys.
Wow. Yeah.
She even had like those peacocks.
Yeah.
And like it was just always something. So like my childhood from like the age of like 1-year-old to a 5-year-old or 6-year-old was like a fairy tale, like in a garden in the rancho. And
that's what we used to call my grandparents'
Yeah.
property. El Rancho.
Well, my grandparents' rancho was called La Papaya.
Oh.
It was a papaya.
Yeah.
They did have a lot of papaya plants and mangoes and bananas. So it was just like a paradise is how I remember it. So, but when like we were talking about zanjas, that's when you make a little trail from one plant to the other. So when you water one, the other one gets it too. And it's just like a little, that's what they used to do too. Like they would put the water to one and then they would dig these little trails or little roads and it would go. So that's really interesting.
Hey, I didn't even know what I was doing, but I was like, I'm good. I think my brother made fun of me for doing it. He was like, you idiot, cute. When you put the water in there, like it's just going to flood and it's just going to all be mud.
But it doesn't always.
Like, yeah, it didn't. Yeah, it worked. I was out there for hours doing that. And it felt good. Like the cold mud, like growing up in Texas, it's always hot. And so like feeling the cold dirt from underneath and like, then whenever the tomatoes would come in, like the joy of like just being able to pick the tomatoes and the peppers and make salsa, like it was all so rewarding.
Yeah, I know. I love making fresh salsa out of like tomatoes and jalapenos.
Yeah.
So when I used to be a stay-at-home mom, I used to have a little backyard garden. And I used to grow cucumbers, jalapenos, cherry tomatoes, regular tomatoes, kale, and lettuce, romaine lettuce. Like,
oh wow,
I started it just tiny bit, little things that I could grow.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had really like a lot of vegetables and it was really good. But once I stopped, because
It all
I
died.
became,
Yeah.
once I stopped, it just died. But the kale always grows back. Certain things just grow back on their own.
Yeah.
But I've grown potatoes also. They're like tiny, the little tiny potatoes.
Yeah.
So
like
yeah,
the little
baby
potatoes. Yeah.
I've grown those before. So it's just like, and I love it because you're out there, you're watering, you're getting sunlight, vitamin is a D or C.
Yeah.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting fresh air in your lungs. And if you're like me, you like walking barefoot.
Oh yeah.
Because I heard that if you walk barefoot, the earth has like this electromagnetic or it's all about energy and stuff like that.
It's called grounding.
And earthing. So when you place your feet on the ground, you're getting some electrodes into your body. It's regulating your nerve system. It's good for inflammation. It's good for those chronic pains. It's just so good for your body. And it also, like, apparently your feet absorb like minerals through your skin, so it's all good for you. But the mud is also really good for you, I heard, because
it's good for your skin too.
We should do a mud bath.
Yeah I know, I've always wanted to. And there's places where you can do like different types of mud from like different parts of the world, because all the different parts of the world have like different nutrients in their soil. And so like even with like coffee, if you get coffee from and chocolate, if you get chocolate or coffee from different parts of the world, like you can taste
the difference
and that taste that you're tasting is the nutrients from the earth and like what is in the earth around there. Like, is it limestone or is it clay or is it like, what is in the earth around there? So it's the same thing with like grounding or mud baths or whatever.
And nature's just so good for you.
Yeah, it is.
So also gardening also releases endorphins. It makes you happy. It calms you. It's therapeutic. So if you're ever out and you look at flowers or you look at grass or all of that stuff is contributing to your happy hormone or chemicals. So it's so good for you guys. Get out there and like just dig some
because you said it was a workout, and it is.
Yeah, it is.
We used to have the most lush, beautiful St. Augustine grass. Our yard was so fluffy. Like I would just go out there, and Desea and me and the dog would just go lay in the grass.
Good grass.
Yeah, we would like on summer afternoons, like we have that big tree in our front yard, and so it would shade that half of the yard,
and it helps with
literally just go lay in the grass and just hang out.
I love doing that too.
Yes. It's been neglected the grass for a year, and that's all it takes to kill it. I know.
It's all
it makes me so sad.
No.
But so what I did was my dad used to make us go out every Saturday morning and pull weeds.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, lots of fun as a child.
It is.
No, we hated it. We hated it because it was a chore, but it did teach us a lot of things. Like it taught us discipline. It taught us how
work ethic.
Work ethic, because my dad would go out there and he saw that you didn't pull the root out with the weed, then he'd make you get the poker and like go in there and like dig the root out.
He gave you guys something to do.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. And we weren't allowed to go play. Granted, I was little. My parents divorced when I was 5. So it was right before my 5th birthday. So I was little, but I still participated. And then once my middle brother and I lived with my dad, we kind of did the same thing. But so like I have that skill from being a child and pulling weeds. So I decided to just go out in my yard and instead of weed and feed
Teresa
or spray,
is the weed killer, the weed puller. If you ever need her, you can contact her at 1-800 wood. Is it weed?
Weed killer. Yeah, no. So it took me 2 separate days on 2 separate weekends because I was so sore after each side of my yard that I like needed a week to recover. But I went out there and I pulled every single weed by hand, and it was essentially my entire yard. My entire yard was weed.
I love that because I've done that before. I like mine never passed away, not this actually summer, like few weeks ago actually.
Yeah.
But I told you once that him and I, when I was a stay-at-home mom, I had all this time in the world, so I had nothing better to do than to just mess with my garden.
Mm-hmm.
So I would fertilize and water, and I had really nice green St. Augustine grass as well. It was so nice. But now that I work, I don't have a lot of time. So now I have like little patches that I didn't fertilize, that I didn't take care of, but I still try to water it over the summer when I can.
Yeah.
But I would do the same thing. I would go in there and pull all the wigs, like yank it just try to get all of the roots out and everything, because if you don't, it's going to keep growing and it's going to get ugly. And yeah. And it's not that I'm trying to be a perfectionist over here with like,
but if you don't get
garden,
the root,
but
it comes back.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's, we could go all into that on like, if you don't get the root of the problem out.
Oh, Teresa.
Yeah.
You want to go there, huh? Let's go there.
No, like seriously, it applies to life too. And I deal with this with my clients. Like I
love that. This is not a gardening talk anymore. It's called Let's Get to the Root of the Problem.
Yeah.
And how can you flourish and just be your amazing self?
Yeah. But it's until you take the time to actually sit and think about things and reflect, you can't get to the root of the problem.
Oh.
Yeah. I worked with a client for a little over a year. And when she came to me, she wanted to moderate her drinking, right? She was like, I just want to drink less. I don't want to quit drinking. I just want to drink less. And very early on, she said, do you think that people can moderate their drinking? And I said, yes, I think people can moderate their drinking. But when you have to get help to moderate your drinking, that means you have a problem. And I don't think that people with a problem can moderate their drinking. And so we kind of left it at that for a while, and we just moderated drinking. And then it wasn't until many failed attempts at moderating that they were like, I think I have a problem. And I'm like, yeah, I know you have a problem. But you had to come to that realization on your own. And I would ask, so why do you drink? And they'd say, well, because I'm stressed. And I'm like, no, why do you drink? Well, because I had a hard day at work. And it's like, no, that is the surface reason of why you drink. But what is below the surface? Because until you figure out the root cause of why you drink, you're going to continue drinking. Because for her, it wasn't that she had a stressful day at work. It wasn't, whatever the surface level. It wasn't that her husband made her mad. It was that she had chosen a career that she hated because her husband quit his job because his boss upset him. And so she was angry at the fact that she was in a job that she hated. She had to quit school. She had to quit her dreams so that her husband didn't have to work for someone that he thought was difficult.
Wow.
And now her husband is just playing video games. He claims that he's doing this and that and the other, and he's not. Like, he doesn't leave the house. He's not applying for jobs. Okay. He's not doing anything. Like, he's just there all the time. And so, of course, when you've got those things going on at home, of course, this tiny little set off at work is going to drive you to drink. But until you deal with the emotions and the feelings of the things that are going on at home, everything is going to set you off because you're sitting at this boiling point, right? Like it's almost like soup on the stove that's like just barely boiling, like it's simmering,
it's pot.
Yeah, it's just sitting there at a low boil.
Wait, I think the best way we can like vision this is like that hot water boiling in a tea what's it is that
kettle?
Yeah, it's a kettle. Yeah, and then you hear and it's boiling and it's like making this annoying sounds.
Oh yeah, and then it goes beep. Yeah, when it's done. Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Like you're at this low simmer, this low boil.
Yeah.
And any little increase on the heat, of course, it's going to send you into a rolling boil, like a over the top boil. So you have to figure out what's at the root of it in order to actually start to heal from it.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what I was thinking about. Random tangent on getting to the root of it.
Okay, so how do we get rid of these pesky insects in our garden?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
How do we get rid of these caterpillars? These
you tell me, because you're the pro gardener. I am not a gardening person.
I I love gardening, but I feel like that's just one of the things that you just can't ever get rid of because they're part of nature and they're part of the ecosystem that makes everything work together.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not, whether you like spiders, ladybugs, whatever it is.
Yeah, even
I keep
the
my wasps
snakes
around.
Yeah, so do I.
Because I think they eat caterpillars. And I'm happy with that. Like, don't get them.
I just don't bother them.
Yeah.
Like if I go outside and they're out there, they usually go away.
Yeah.
Like they don't hang around. They might buzz around, but as long as you don't
just
mess
like
with the
bees.
wasp,
Yeah. I honestly, I don't have a problem with any other bug out there except caterpillars. Those are that's like a trauma that I'm still working through it. Yeah. But other than that, I don't care about the bees being in my garden. I don't care about the wild bunnies. I don't care about like actually, I don't like flies. Nobody likes flies.
Nobody likes flies.
Or mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Right. But it's just like I know that they have to be there and we all have to coexist with one another and we all contribute to the existence of nature.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of those bugs help your garden in different ways, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So benefits of gardening. We said it grounds you.
Yeah, it grounds you. It regulates your emotional and your nerve system. It also when you're out grounding or earthing, it helps with inflammation, chronic pains. It's also a good way to distress. It's also a good way to take your anxiety out. A good form of exercise.
Yeah.
And also releases endorphins in your body. You're getting vitamin. I always get D. I always get confused with vitamin D and C.
On that one, you get vitamin D
when you're out
in the sun, right? But also the more sunlight you get on your face throughout the day, like on your eyes. So I always say, like, if you work in an office and you're inside all the time, as early in the morning as you can. I do it like as soon as I wake up because Banana always needs to go out and go potty.
Yeah.
So when I let her out to go potty, the second I get out there, like you close your eyes, point your face to the sun and just let the sun pour down on you, because the more sunlight you can get on your face,
especially early in the morning,
the more melatonin you are going to produce in your brain.
Ooh.
So the better sleep you're going to have at night.
Let's go get that sunlight.
Yeah. So melatonin is the chemical in your brain that tells your brain that it's time to go to sleep.
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine.
She's always
you make me happy. When skies are gray. Oh, there you go. we finish each other's sentences.
We do. Yeah. No, yeah. So it can help with your sleep. Gardening can help with your sleep by helping you produce melatonin.
I hope after this episode, everyone goes to like Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever your gardening sources and just get out there and get dirty.
Yeah. Get dirty. Get some dirt under your nails. Use the earth to help heal your mind, your body, and your soul.
If you don't have a green thumb like me, you can just buy those tiny little plants, put them in the pot, and just put them next to your window. That also helps it. I'm sure it releases some type of like.
Yeah, no, there's scientific proof that having green things in your house is good for your mind. It calms you. It brings peace. If you're super stressed out, like it can be very calming and relaxing to look at something green, even if it is a fake plant. Like it is just the color green, because it draws you back to nature, which is what gardening is doing. And it doesn't have to be plants, flowers, like vegetables. I quote unquote garden just by like, I have a sand pit in my front yard. So like going out there and cleaning out the sand pit and like cleaning the sand and blowing the leaves out and pulling weeds, like that sort of thing. Really just like getting back into nature, spending some time,
go hiking, go for a run outdoors, go do some yoga, just go have some tea outside. Yeah. So good for you.
It is.
Yeah.
Yay. What else you got, Miss Green Thumb?
I don't know. I was just thinking. Are you good at landscaping?
No.
I need someone to go fix my garden. I'm just kidding. No,
but we're going outside to work on my weeds.
That's one thing I tell Riel. I want a house with a big backyard with a bunch of trees, a bunch of land, so I can just do my gardening dreams come true. Because I feel like I'm like this little old lady that this is what I love to do. Okay. In the summer when I'm off, I like to drink my coffee while I water my plants really early in the morning.
Yeah.
Getting that good sunshine and first thing in the morning while I'm just there watering my plants. And it just feels so good to start the day on that with that on the right foot, I guess you can say.
No, for sure. I am not a morning person, so that does not sound appealing to me.
I can't be.
I need to start my day in the shower, quiet, with a book to just like let the water pour over me and let it wake me up. And even like if my husband comes in and he's like, "Can I shower with you?" I'm like, "Yes, just don't talk to me.
You're in the shower." No,
just don't talk to me. And he's finally learned. Like, I will talk to him whenever I'm ready to talk to him.
I am. I know. I think I am a morning person, but I don't know. There's just something about getting up really early and just getting your day started, and just doing certain things. So that you can, I don't know, either get it done really early. It just makes you feel accomplished and good about yourself, and how you start your day really matters.
Yeah. No, I will say starting the day by watering your plants with a cup of coffee sounds amazing.
Now, if I need someone to pull those weeds out, I'd probably call you. Like,
yes. See, you're all about nurturing the earth. I'm about like yanking things out of it.
I'll make a compost box out there somewhere. No, you know what? My kids love being outside too.
Oh yeah.
They love being out there, and we have cats and they're out there chasing them, running barefoot, getting wet with the water hose because we don't have like any water toys or anything. They're just wetting themselves out there.
Used to do that.
And I'm just like, that is so much fun just to see that. It just makes me so happy because they're just out there. They're not inside. watching TV or eating all these snacks. They're out there, and they also love gardening. So it's a good way for them to learn how to take of living things and take care of like other things around them. And that I feel like it makes their mindset turn to think that, oh, if you take care of this, it will grow. And the more you feed it with the right things and you fertilize it and you water it, it grows. Oh, and talking about that, I tell my kids all the time, okay, if you want something to grow, you have to feed it. You have to pour into that. Are your friends pouring into you or are they not?
Yeah.
And my daughter, she's like, huh? And I'm like, well, listen, your friends.
Yeah.
The one way that you can tell if they're really your friends is if they're uplifting you. And what I mean by that is, are they pouring into you? It's like a plant. You're a plant. If your friends are watering you with compliments, they're helping you be better, grow.
Yeah.
That's a good way to know that they are someone that you can pour into because they're pouring into you.
Yeah.
But if they're not, you're drying up, you're dying. They're like they're infestation. Is it infestation? Yeah. They're a weed.
Yeah.
You don't want that.
Yeah.
So
because they're taking and not giving. Yeah. Friendships should be a give and take, right? Like it should be sometimes one friend is needier because they're in a season where they need more of you. And that they may not be giving to you. You know, they may not be calling up and saying, hey, how are you doing? Like, or hey, can I take you to lunch? Like, it may not be that season for them. But a good friendship has balance, you know, like you both, if she's going through something,
they make the effort.
You pour into her. If you're going through something, she pours into you. And
it's the way they show up for you in your life, the way they make you feel.
Yeah.
The way, the stuff they bring in, whether you see them a lot all the time or not. But when you get together, is that a friend that you feel like helps you nourish your soul and just like blooms and beautiful like flowers?
Yeah.
Or
do you feel dry and depleted and sucked up after you're done hanging out with them?
Do you have to heal from that friendship afterwards? Like, do you have to just go and, I don't know,
recuperate, recover? Yeah.
Like, so I have this friend who always tells me after we hang out, she's so sweet. I love her. And it's one of our friends.
Yeah. One of our mutual friends.
I can't say the name because no, she's going to sue me. But she's like, every time I leave, she texts me, thank you so much for being you.
Yeah.
I love you. And just thank you for being yourself.
Yeah.
And I'm 30 something and I'm like, I mean, I love that she loves, you know, to tell me like she's grateful for me just being my true authentic self.
Yeah.
And I guess I never thought about it that way. And I was like, well, yeah, I don't know how to be any other kind of way. And she's like, yeah, I know. It's just that sometimes I feel like there are some friendships that I just need to recover from after seeing them. And I'm like, I guess I know that it's happened to me. I just didn't see it that way. I guess I just felt like some people were just a lot for me. And maybe I was just, I don't know. But then now I realized that, there are some friends who pour into you and make you feel good and they just uplift you and they just, did I say they pour into you? They help you grow and they fertilize you and then they prune you, all those little bad leaves that are like no longer serving you. They help you get those out and they just like wipe you clean and spray you with some little, you know, they just, and then there's other friends who would see that the weeds growing in you and they just encourage that to grow. They don't help you polish and
right. Yeah. Because if one of my friends was going down a bad path, I would be like, hey, I love you and I don't want to see you do this. So I'm going to tell you, I know you're going to do whatever you want, but I love you and I can't see you do that.
Yeah.
Whereas some friendships that I've had in the past, it was like, hey, let's go down this shitty road together.
It'll be fun.
Yeah,
and then we'll do it again.
And then we'll do it again. And let's burn down the house together.
Yeah.
And, we were both broken and a mess at that point. But like, it is, you can take the temperature of like, okay, is this growing me or is this sucking me dry? Like, is this taking from me or is
taking the
this
life out of me?
Yeah. Or is this good for me? Because it can be fun to go down a dark road together. You can feel not alone. You can feel like, well, they're doing it, so it can't be that bad. But really looking at it and saying, okay, 5 years from now, am I going to be proud of this? Am I going to be proud of this friendship? And am I going to be proud of what we're doing together? Am I going to want my kids to know about this? Like, maybe you don't have kids now, but now that I have a teenager, a lot of times I'm like, oh my God, I wish I never would have done that. Because now a lot of the things, like, I have to tell my child, yes, I've done that. And no, you shouldn't.
Yeah. And most often I find that people who have been through some dark stuff, they don't want to share with their kids.
Oh, yeah.
Because they don't want to encourage it, but they fail to realize that sometimes your kids need to know about your mistakes so they can see, hey, I know what you're going through or what you feel like doing because I was there before.
Yeah.
And I know what it's like. And I can tell you from my own personal experience that that was a mistake and I should have never done that.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you this because I love you and I care about you and I don't want you going through the same thing.
No.
Now, it is obviously at the end, they're going
to do whatever they want.
Right, exactly. But it's your job as a parent to be like, okay, I've been there, done that. Don't do it because so and so and so.
Yeah.
And if in your kids, you always want to pray that they do take your advice and they don't do those things because I feel like that's all part of life. Like you have to go through those things and experience them so that you can teach your children not to go down that path. And then they would do the same. Eventually everybody has their own will and they'll do whatever, but you have to help your kids like thrive and flourish and bloom and grow.
Yeah, I know. I tell a lot of personal stories on this podcast and
same.
Yeah, but and people will teenagers. A lot of teenagers follow me on social media because I'm really involved with my daughter's life. And so her friends follow me on social media. And they'll tell her stuff like, oh my gosh, I didn't know your mom did blah, blah, blah. And she's like, yes. She's like, my mom was crazy. My mom had a crazy life. Like, she's done crazy things. If you want to know about it, just listen to her podcast. But the reason I can be so open is because I've shared these things with my daughter. My daughter's 17, so it's a little different. It's not like I was telling her these things when she was 8 years old.
Yeah.
But as she's grown, I've shared parts of my story with her because I don't want her to make the same mistakes that I did. And at the end of the day, I tell her, you're going to do what you want. But it is my job to equip you with the tools for you to be successful. And part of that is telling you what I did wrong and how to avoid doing those things.
Yep. Some parents don't like to share and open up with their kids for the fear that they may encourage it or embarrassment or shame.
Yeah.
But they fail to realize that when you don't share your personal journey or struggles with them, they won't be able to relate to you or be able to open up to you because you understand. So you close off that
line of communication.
Exactly. And then your kids end up doing exactly what was your worst fear
and because history repeats itself.
Exactly. Because you're not guiding them. You're not opening that door, an opportunity to say, hey, listen, I know what you're going through, especially during the teenage years. I feel like they're the hardest because of their hormones.
Yeah.
And there's just so much influence around them and so much peer pressure that kids can definitely go into the wrong direction if they're not guided by someone who has experienced it and someone who loves them and wants the best for them.
Yeah, you can either guide your kids or the world will.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, we went really deep. We went from gardening to parenting. Well,
to friendships.
We have friendships and relationships and
to our husbands.
Yeah. But anyway, so you got anything else for them?
No.
Yeah.
Get outside and get messy and go fix your garden because you may win the best garden of the neighborhood.
There you go.
I've seen those articles.
I know. And it can help you get to the root cause. Of whatever it is.
Go in there and dig.
Yeah.
Dig some stuff up and just get messy and let it all out and then just let the water just
wash it away.
Yeah, and then you'll see you'll make some room to flourish and grow.
Yep. I love it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, be well, be kind, and may you find some joy this week. Bye.